And here we go.
Oh, no. Well, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I was like, now you're going to make people think we watched The Dark Knight. we did not watch The Dark Knight.
We did not. No,
we didn't.
just...
But I see what you did there.
Yep.
I got you.
Episode 10.
Episode 10.
Since we don't do weeks around here anymore.
No. What is time? Episode 10. Episode 10, bud. That's crazy. That's crazy.
We've been...
Let's just stop.
It's our longest podcast we've ever had together.
No, we did 3 additional episodes.
Did we do 13 on PCP?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I know. I know it is.
We're getting close.
Because I feel like I often forget that we did 3 more episodes. It's usually episode 10 is that Christmas episode, and then I forgot all about everything past that. But I didn't put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Now we're being disturbed.
No,
okay.
no. Restart the podcast.
Hey, from episode 1.
Oh, damn. It's just Chase and Phil watch everything. We
just rename it. Everything watches Phil and Chase.
God.
Oh my God.
You just see like a bunch of monitors with just just us living our daily lives. Like,
yikes.
That would be everything watching us, right? So that'd be crazy.
Well, I feel like I say this at least for the last few weeks. I feel like I've come into this like, it's another light week. This one feels a little light.
I don't think so.
But I guess you did also get a little ham bone yourself. And
I watched at least close to 7 movies this week.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so, because I watched 5.
Yep.
You watched
because
most of those.
I watched Jarhead.
Right.
That was the start of my week.
Right. Oh fuck! Did you watch way more than 7?
Well, I guess we'll get there. I've been saying for like you keep saying for the past couple of weeks it's gonna be a light week. I've been saying for the past couple of weeks I need to start writing my fucking movies down because like it's a lighter week because I don't even talk about all the movies I watch.
Right. Because I as I sit here with my list, I see everything that's going on. I don't have these problems.
Yeah, you threw me off. You spoiled me the first couple weeks.
Well,
my movies.
Motherfucker says, I need a pen and a notebook. I get the man a pen and a notebook. And what's the issue now?
I was just complacency.
Yeah, I guess.
I just want you to do the work for me.
One might say subservience.
Which I did watch as well. But yeah, no, I guess to get back to Jarhead, it was fine. Well, Jake Gyllenhaal action. It was the first time I've seen it. It was about a soldier serving during the Desert Storm, and nothing happened. He never got to kill anybody, and that was pretty much the whole movie. It's him just being bummed out about being in the desert. All he wanted to do was kill someone. He had an opportunity. Someone took it away from him, and then they went back home. The war ended. He was like, I never got to kill anyone. That was like his only thing he wanted to do. And
who else was in that movie? Anybody?
Not anyone that I even
because, like, honestly, when you first brought it up, I think I kept why I was wondering.
No, Jamie Foxx is in it. I lied.
So he is in that movie.
Yeah.
Okay, because all right, well then that only makes things more confusing because I kept getting it confused with like I was like, did I see Jarhead or did I see The Kingdom? Which I'm pretty sure Jamie Foxx was also.
Jamie Foxx was in The Kingdom.
Now, was Jessica Biel in The Kingdom, or was she in
No,
Jarhead?
she was in The Kingdom.
Oh, see?
Because there's, like, no female roles.
I don't know what the fuck I saw.
Jarhead.
Maybe I saw both of them. I don't know. But when you said... you wouldn't be surprised if I forgot it. Honestly, the plot you just told me, I also wouldn't be surprised if
It was honestly a pretty forgettable movie. There's only, like, one moment that, like, really stood out to me, and, like, Jake Gyllenhaal, like, pretty much just snaps. Like, he gets in trouble for, like, he has someone else take his watch for him and, like, goes to a Christmas party, conveniently enough for the season. And then the dude accidentally, like, sets off a bunch of flares. And so Jake Gyllenhaal gets in trouble for it because he was the one who was supposed to be on watch and he didn't say anything about it because you don't snitch.
Right.
So he like showed up with like a loaded gun and was threatening dude that had his watch, and you really thought he was gonna fucking kill him for a second.
He's
I'm
like,
wow.
I haven't killed nobody yet, and I'm wanting to.
I was like, he's like, I would love to put a bullet in you. It's like, good God. And then,
jeez.
Yeah, then he felt real bad about it afterwards, as he should.
Hey, man, I'm sorry.
He's stressed out, man. Just stressed out.
You just did some stupid shit. I lost it. I apologize. I didn't need to yell.
Yeah, because dude was scared of him. He's like, I'm sorry. And he breaks down. It's a whole... Well, the thing was decent. It wasn't like I didn't feel like I wasted my time watching it. It just wasn't like, oh my God, Jarhead.
No, I feel you. I feel like war movies can be that way sometimes. You know,
hit or miss.
Hit or miss for sure.
Yeah.
Sometimes they can just be very dry and boring and just kind of go nowhere.
Yeah, especially because there is no action, so it's literally just them not doing anything, and then how.
I do feel like that's a genre. I do feel like every once in a while, I'd almost say once a year, just like not on purpose, but it just kind of happens. I'll just fall into like some war movies, and I'll just like go down a little, maybe like a little week or so of like
foxhole,
a little foxhole, if you will. Yeah. That's a genre. I know we were talking about like our top 10s of like genres. That's one I'd like to like dive into.
I guess a little bit partial myself because I did serve and I had family members that served and stuff. So I've always loved. I guess love might be strong, but I've always really enjoyed war movies.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot of really good ones for sure.
Some you still haven't seen, so
yeah. Ooh, shots fired! Oh God,
friendly fire,
friendly fire indeed. No saving this private. That's, God, you don't see one goddamn movie. You never hear the end of it.
Oh no! I also have been pushing it for like 10 years. So you
know what? What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna watch it and then just wait like an additional 10 years. I'm gonna wait for you to be on your fucking deathbed.
You're gonna pull a deer situation.
It'll be my deathbed. I'll be like, come closer. Like, I need to tell you something. I watched Saving Private Ryan. Then I'm gonna die and you'll have no idea what I thought of the movie.
Oh, you'd be a son of a bitch for that one. I was like, did he even like it?
You're in a bar somewhere and it's like, what's wrong with him? It's like his buddy died and he never told him what he thought of Saving Private Ryan. He hasn't got over it. It's all he fucking talks about. What? I just wanted to know if he liked it.
He didn't write it in his will, no PS, nothing.
Nothing.
Nope.
What a bastard.
A dick move, man. I will say
there's definitely some really good ones out there. Did you ever see Thank You for Your Service with Miles Teller?
I might have.
That was a good one. Dealt heavy on PTSD.
Yeah, so did Man Down.
I watched those around the same time, I believe. Great little double feature. If you're gonna,
that would definitely be a good little double feature. I did enjoy Man Down.
I feel like you watch those two movies, you're probably gonna walk right out the door and start volunteering to help veterans.
Now, another good one was The Messengers.
Oh fuck yeah! It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
Ben Foster and Woody Harrelson. Yeah, that was a real good one.
Would you consider Brothers a war movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was serving.
Yes, he was.
Yeah. So yes, most definitely a war movie.
I almost feel like I prefer war movies that are more about character. Now that we're talking about it out loud, like about characters rather than like the actual wartime activity.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get you.
I feel like I gravitate more towards movies like that. Like now that I'm thinking about all the ones that I really like, Brothers, Messengers, fucking Man Down, Thank You for Your... These are all like after the fact of war. Or what's that, Unbroken? Or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah. And I guess the one with Jeremy Renner.
Oh yeah, The Hurt Locker.
The Hurt Locker, that was kind of like that too, a little bit.
Damn good war movies.
Yeah, there's definitely they definitely have some bangers
for sure.
For sure.
See, no, war ain't all that bad.
No,
they get some good movies out of it.
Yeah, then you get stuff like Pearl Harbor, which isn't my favorite.
I hear that from a lot of people.
It's just long.
Yeah,
just long movie. Never watched Tor though. That's one I would like to see. The Japanese version of Pearl Harbor, essentially.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. What else? What else did you watch?
Well, we did get into Subservient.
Yeah.
Or Subservience, I guess is what it's called, right?
And what was that about?
That was it had Megan Fox, and I guess I don't even know who the male lead was, but apparently it was essentially this guy buys like a AI robot to like do housework or whatever. And she's apparently like the newest model, so she can like mimic emotions and stuff like that. So you kind of already see where it's gonna go. For sure. And then like how they started it off was like dude with his wife or whatever, and then she like has like a heart attack or something. And so like the implication is that she dies. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't. Like, she's still alive, like, in the hospital. Like, it really was building up, like, that she was no longer alive. And then, like, it cut to a scene of, like, him visiting her in the hospital. I'm like, oh. Because they made it seem like he was, like, a single father, like, trying to, like, take care of his kids and do everything. And he worked, he was a foreman for, like, a construction site and stuff like that. And so Megan Fox is pretty much helping do everything. And then,
she's like a maid, basically.
Pretty much. Yeah. And then they end up having sex or whatever. And so, now there was like, she wanted to be like his partner or whatever. And so then the wife finally comes home. And so then there's like a little, conflict, little conflict there. And then she pretty much was like, yeah, I fucked your husband, essentially, like. And I was like, oh, and then, because it happened, like, more than once. It wasn't, like, just a accident. Like, it happened a couple times. So it's like, okay. The first time I can forgive. The second time but there raises the question, is it cheating if you have sex with a robot? Like,
I was getting ready to say.
He made the argument where it's like, it would be the same thing as you using, like, your vibrator. And she's like, that's not the same thing. Like, you talk to it. Like, you have conversations with it. Like,
you can talk to it.
I guess you could, but I don't know. I mean, I got where she's it's tricky. That's a tricky situation.
Because, I was going to say, what's weirder still is that, like, it's weird how that conversation is probably going to become a lot more common in the years to come.
Yeah, I mean, because they already have stuff kind of like that.
Oh, yeah, they already have
like sex dolls
and shit like that.
So it's only going to get more realistic.
So most of them probably look like Megan Fox too. So I mean, it's practically already.
And I will say this: I thought Megan Fox did a great job at like portraying like the AI, kind of just like with like the body movements and like how she talked and stuff. I was like, I really fucking believe that Megan Fox. How could you? I mean, I don't think I would have even waited as long as he did if I.
What? It's a robot.
Pretty much. It's like first day I'm stressed.
It's funny.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's funny because I keep seeing this commercial for this thing called Gemini. You know what I'm talking about? Like for the Google Pixel or whatever.
Yep.
And it's like, what can I talk to you about? It's like, you can talk to me about
like the Gemini Live or whatever.
Yeah, and he's just like having conversations with them, and all I could think about is the movie Her. And I'm like, we are on our way. And
although like the movie lost me because at one point because then Megan Fox starts getting a little violent.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well now, because they like almost drowns the baby at one point.
Oof.
And so that's when I was like, okay. Bashes her head in, and then like they take her away. And then apparently not. And so she never shuts down. She just hibernates, I guess. I don't know, in rest mode. But no. So then she like ends up hacking into like the mainframe and can start taking over other AI robots. And so then it just was like at a certain point, like they kept on like defeating these robots, and then it just kind of ended. But then it's like, okay, well, this isn't just going to be the end. And then, like, the very end, she's like, I don't know, must find whatever dude's name was. And it's like, kind of just left it. I just felt like it was kind of like a sloppy ending.
Yeah.
Like, they just did a little too much to where it's like, it went on too long for it just to be like, oh, well, it's not over yet. Because they're not going to make a sequel. No. You know what I'm saying? So it's what was the point, in a sense?
Yeah, I feel you.
But, I mean, It was on Netflix. I just figured, hey, why not? Get a little Megan Fox action in my life.
Right. I couldn't even tell you the last time. Well, you know what? I could. This is 40 is probably the last time I watched a movie that Megan Fox was in.
Another. I can't say the same. There's that one. Till Death.
Okay, yeah.
I saw that one. Actually, that one was actually pretty good. I did enjoy that one. I thought Megan Fox did a good job in that as well. There's some, obviously, a little unrealistic parts.
Right.
Dragging a dead body around. I'm like, I don't think it would have worked out that way. You're like 120 pounds soaking wet at best, dragging around this grown-ass man who's dead. So it's like... Could you have really done some of the stuff you did that quickly? I doubt it.
I feel you. I definitely. Obviously, we'll talk more about Terrifier 3 next week. But I clocked all the moments that were Philly's gonna think this shit's so silly.
I'm sure.
Even I was watching somebody's like reaction to Terrifier 3, and they said, "Oh, well, I feel like they took the words out of your mouth of like." Why are they always still alive?
It's just one of those things. It's Philly's pet peeve.
Yeah, well, just buckle up because that is not going to die down. Was there anything else you watched outside of that?
I watched the 3 Godzilla movies on Netflix. The
animes?
Yep. Planet of Monsters.
Yeah.
City on the Edge of Battle and Planet Eater.
Okay.
I don't know. I liked the first one. I enjoyed the second one. Started to lose me a little bit, and I did not like their rendition on King Ghidorah. I thought I just did not really like what they did with it. So. It kind of lost me there towards the end, but I was like, well, it's all right.
So have you watched all the Godzilla movies yet?
I have 5 left.
5 left. Almost there, bud.
Almost there.
You got this.
There's very few left that I still need to watch.
And then we can start it all over again next year.
Yeah. I didn't want to get too much into it because I do plan on...
Right.
I figured we'd do like a little...
True Godzilla.
Yeah, well... Godzilla deep dive
yeah.
at some point. So
yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to already going back and rewatching the ones I already watched.
Oh yeah, I still know the biggest Philly thinks it's silly moment in the first one with the fish eating the body, but they cut away. And so like if the girl, it doesn't show it. The girl screams, and then like they do 2 scenes, and then they go back to the scene and just show it. I'm like, why didn't you just play it out the first time then? But like I said, we can definitely get more into that another time.
Right, when Godzilla season hits.
Yep.
And we start diving into franchises a little more.
That will be fun.
Yeah.
Other than that,
the only one I watched outside of the ones we usually watch this week was Conclave.
Yep, did not get around to watching that one, unfortunately.
It was, I liked it. Definitely a slow burn. Slow burn, I did not find it boring. I will say that. Like, I know not everybody digs a slow movie, but like, yeah, the Pope dies and they have to hold a what is called a conclave to vote for the new Pope to take over. And so all of the cardinals, like around the world, gather at the church and are sequestered for however many days this takes. And basically they just vote again and again and again until whoever meets the majority votes and becomes the new Pope. And there's like some conspiracy going on there, you know, like
probably some politics.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely very interesting. I felt like the performances were top notch. No doubt about it. I see why Ray Fiennes is a front runner for Best Actor this year. Whether he wins it or not, I don't know. But he was great. Stanley Tucci was great. And I predicted who was going to win pretty early on in the movie. Like as soon as somebody showed up, I was like, well, that's going to be the Pope. Like I'm positive.
Put your money on it.
And that part I found predictable. Could not predict what was going to happen at the end, though. I was like, oh. I was like, okay, interesting. It took a little last minute turn, which I was not expecting. We'll have to talk more about that once you get a chance to see it.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
Probably in January. Well, because I do in January, I'm probably gonna hit all the Oscar movies.
Right. Yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking.
I have a good Oscar theme for January. I think that seems
for sure. Whenever they announce the nominees, I'll have to check on when that is. It's either the beginning of January or like closer to the end of January. But
January,
so maybe February.
Well, February is a short month too, so that even better.
But no, it was good. I enjoyed it. I felt like I had something else to say about it, but I guess not. I guess since you haven't seen it, I don't have much to say about it. But then we pretty much watched all the other stuff mutually. Went to the theaters and saw, as promised last week, we saw Interstella 5555, the story of the secret star system. Too many fives. I always just want to say 555, just the three. The fourth one throws me off. Also, it occurred to me after we left the movie that, like, Interstella, I was like, oh, well, weird, but I get it. Like, because the one chick in the band, her name was Stella. I was like, I see what, okay. I got it.
I never even picked up on that.
Also, a little fun fact, the hero of that story that, like, comes and sacrifices himself to, like, save her and all that shit.
Several times.
He was the man. His name was Shep.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Little shout out, Shep.
Yeah. Way to go, Sheppy. But yeah, the Interstellar 5,555. Fucking the Daft Punk house musical. I don't know if I call it musical. Definitely more of a visual album.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to call a music album a musical. I feel like.
Yeah. It's definitely just their album discovery set to a story, which I will say my one like con I feel like was just like the sound mixing on it. I just felt like it's so flat. And I wondered if it was just the theater we were seeing it in, but then they had the bonus content at the end where they played a bunch of the music videos and stuff. And that shit was banging. I could feel the bass. I was like, oh, so it was just the sound mix, which is disappointing, but
right, yeah, true.
Is what it is.
I felt like the story went on like a little longer than maybe it necessarily needed to. Not that it was a bad story, but there were times where it's like I feel like we're just kind of dragging it out towards the end.
Yes, when they were singing too long.
Yeah, well, because at one point, like they literally recap everything that happened. I'm like, but I've sat here and watched it.
Well, it's kind of funny because like I felt like it moved at such a breakneck speed to begin with that I didn't find myself like fully getting into it till like that back half, which it's only like an hour.
Yeah, and it wasn't long.
But, yeah, it's not very long, but that back half, once things really kind of started going, I was in it. I was like, okay, I'm here for this.
I woke up a little bit.
Yeah,
I had to get moving and grooving just to
just to stay awake.
It was slow at first. All those songs were a little low beats.
Of course, you want to build up to it. You've seen
Gary. They started off so strong with
One More Time.
One More Time was like the first one, and it was like my favorite song. So it's like we started off heavy, and then it was just like drop off, and I was just like, now it's just like ooh.
Which I did. I enjoyed the story. I will say this, for something that was an hour and had no dialogue. Props to them for fitting as much story as they did into that.
Oh yeah, it was definitely like a full story.
By the end of it, I was like, I feel like I just had a full meal. You know what I mean? Like it just like they really gave a lot in the story. Because at first I was like, I don't know about this, but by the end of it, I was like, no, I fuck with that. That's pretty solid. Especially the ending. I really that ending about got tears out of me. Like the very ending when it shows the kid in the room like asleep. and he's like he's falling asleep to the Daft Punk record.
Oh yeah, yeah, and he has all the toys.
And he has all the toys, and it's just implying like the whole thing has just been this kid's like dream as he's like falling asleep listening to Daft Punk and everything. And I feel like as a kid who fell asleep listening to Daft Punk often, I was just like moved by that. I was like, man, that hits, that resonates.
They reminded me of like the opening to Super Smash Brothers. A little bit, when it's like it shows like them all fighting, and then it's really just a kid playing with his toys.
That kid's got a future in writing, because what a story he came up with, and it's so layered too about the record company fucking people over and all that shit. Like
deep
Daft
stuff.
Punk even made a little cameo themselves during the award show scene.
I almost felt bad for the chick that was sitting in front of us, because like they were about to leave. And I felt like her boyfriend or whoever she was with was like, let's go. Like she wanted to be there, and he was just tagged along, because like they were about to walk out, and then they started playing the other songs, and then they popped the squad again.
Yeah, I saw him sit back down up front. I was like, you can't act like you didn't know. A big message popped up on screen: stay after the movie for bonus content, which I didn't know what to expect from the bonus content, but turned out to be a bunch of music videos, which I found out. I got to mark 2 movies off of Letterboxd with this one, because they released like a little DVD called Daft, D-A-F-T, story. It was like stories of dogs, androids, firefighters, and tomatoes. And
so is that what that was?
Pretty much, yeah. That was like everything that was on that little anthology DVD was pretty much everything they played after the movie. Which, I mean, like I told you, one of my favorite things in the world to do is fucking sit around and watch music videos, especially bizarre music videos. And man, I never thought I'd get the chance to sit in a movie theater and just get to watch fucking weird music videos with like a big group of people. I'm like, I'm living the fucking dream right now. Bad time to quit smoking pot though. That was definitely a movie that I was like, if I was just a little stoned, I feel like this would have been a much more fun experience. But I love
that or like some shrooms.
Oh yeah, I thought that at one point. I'm like, so at least one person in this theater is tripping balls.
Rightfully so.
Rightfully so. I bet that, because I was like, if I ever rewatched this movie, that's probably exclusively what I would be doing, unless like it was like showing Charlie when he's older, like, you know.
Right. Yeah. Naturally.
Yeah, but it's like, you know. Otherwise, it's like, yo, y'all want to get fucking high and watch Interstella 5555555?
It's like you sat on your phone on accident.
But no, I liked all the music videos they played afterwards too. I'd never really seen any of them.
No.
The ones with the dogs cracked. And I learned that. So they played that first one with the dog that Spike Jonze directed. And I love that song, Defunk. I love it. Thought it was interesting that they just had him playing it in the background of this little like story going on. But apparently that second one we saw at the end, they made that because people were upset about the way the first one ended, and they wanted to know what happened to this fucking dog man.
That's funny.
And so that's why they made the second one.
He couldn't get on the
bus with his fucking stereo.
He had a look of fear for a second. But
hey, he got the girl.
He got the girl.
He became an actor. He's doing just fine.
He was living the dream. Happy for him.
I'm glad we went and saw it. Apparently there was some controversy around this remaster, which I didn't know until after I bought the tickets. Not that it would have made any difference to me. But I guess they used AI to like do the remaster, and it was one of those things that like, I don't know. I feel like I mean, I never saw the original, so I have nothing to compare it to. But they were just talking about how, like, they showed some clips on YouTube of like side-by-side comparisons of like some of the moments just aren't as detailed as they were because AI just was having a hard time nailing down on some of the details. So like there are times where like maybe their faces are a little more like smudged away or some shit, and like I don't know, I feel like everything's moving so quick, and like I thought it looked fine. personally.
Yeah, I would. If you would never even say anything, I wouldn't even
Same.
known the difference.
Same. I would have had no idea, but of course, you got all these people bishing.
Yeah,
like they
always.
Do. Like they do.
About everything.
But hey, you know what? Sometimes
it's justified.
It's justified. How you like that for a segue?
Love it. I love this segue.
Fucking, as much as I didn't want to buy into the anti-hype of Joker Folie Deux, then the movie ended. And I was like, oh, everybody had a right to bitch about this one.
Yeah. Because we talked about it, because you even messaged me, he's like, you're going to know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. And I watched it.
And you knew exactly what the fuck I was talking about.
I was like, I feel like it's this. I feel like this is kind of where it all just kind of went downhill from there. And you're like, exactly.
Yeah. So yes, Joker Folie Deux, the sequel to the 2019 smash hit Joker, won Oscars, made $1 billion, all that good stuff. And that, of course, that usually leads to studios being like, more. Gimme.
Right.
And I don't know, man. As far back as like, I feel like the first one that always comes to mind is like Halloween 2, like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Like, he said, I don't want to do a sequel. The studio said, but we want you to. So he said, all right, well, fuck it. I'm going to do whatever I want. And, honestly, getting older, I respect that movie a lot more now for that fact, because it is his own thing. He just did his own thing. Another good example, also Todd Phillips, The Hangover 2. Didn't really, you're going to give us this money to do a sequel? Well, there is all this leftover shit we didn't get to do from the first movie, so we'll just do the same movie again.
Yeah.
But this one, man.
This one was different.
This one, you should have just let Todd Phillips alone. You should have just let him have his one movie, and they could have stuck to their no sequels
He's
thing.
like, I don't really need to do this.
Yeah, but they're like, oh, no, we should. And they did. And
that's when you just hire a different director to do the sequel. It's not like studios don't ever do that.
We don't need you, Todd.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't want to do it.
We have your movie. We don't need you.
If you don't want to do it, someone else, I'm sure, will gladly step up to the plate and
I do feel like we try to find the good in movie. Like, fuck, we both enjoyed Madam Web. At the beginning of the year.
I try not to be a hater on film. I try to appreciate it as much as I can. But
I do think, I feel like we can, like something like Madam Web, we can forgive stupid shit, right? But like bad storytelling, we can't overlook. I feel like that's when like it's just like, okay, fuck this. This is just ridiculous. And like we were talking about earlier, I mean, Joker 2, it felt fine. It felt fine for like the first, like, I'd say probably 2 hours of the movie.
About 3/4.
Yeah, for sure. And I was like, I'm not seeing what people are talking about. I don't get it. Like, it was funny because apparently Belle was going to surprise me by buying it for me, which I told her, I'm going to get it anyways to put in my collection. I got all the other DC movies, so I'm going to get it at some point. But then the movie ended and I started talking shit and she canceled that order. But, yeah, it was like fine. And I was like, I feel like part of me was like, oh, well, people were probably just upset because it's not like comic book Joker, but neither was the first one. You know? It's like, it just is its own little thing. Like as a character study about a guy who's just fucking crazy, they're not terrible. Like, and I was never that crazy on the first one myself.
Yeah. Same.
Not like some people were. I mean, I thought it was good. I thought Joaquin Phoenix definitely deserved the Oscar that year. I thought he did a great job, but I did not think the movie was that great. I just thought it was good. I thought it was okay, Yeah.
I don't know. I just almost feel like at this point, I wish they wouldn't have made it like a Joker movie. Like they pretty much just used Joker as a way to pull people in.
Which was probably one of the most insulting things of this sequel, which like was the way that it like really ended when he does get fucking stabbed by that guy, because the implication is like, oh, this guy who we just spent 2 movies telling you is the Joker isn't the real Joker. He just inspired the real Joker. And it's that guy who just fucking cut his face and is like doing the Joker laugh. And I'm just like...
the one...
I was just like, I was like, that's bullshit. That is just
pretty
bullshit.
much.
We just spent 2 whole movies watching the Joker just for you to be like, yeah, that ain't the Joker.
They should have just named it Artie.
Right.
And then just let it...
Fleck.
You know,
ain't nobody coming to see Fleck.
No.
But Joker got asses in seats, that's for sure. And like I said, I mean, I was enjoying the courtroom stuff. I was enjoying like the just the psychological side of it, of just like how crazy he was and stuff. But yeah, you got this whole fucking movie building up like, oh, he might have 2 different personalities, and he's like, oh no, I don't. And it's really building up to him being like, no, I am the Joker. I'm not Arthur. I am the Joker. Like, there's not 2 personalities. I just am this guy. And in the last second, in the lamest possible fucking moment, because like really, there's only the one time that he ever really is the Joker in this movie. Like truly, is that one courtroom scene where he decides to like be his own defense. Yeah. And the little dude comes in, and which probably hands down the best scene in the whole movie.
Mr. Puddle.
Yeah. Really?
Puddles?
Really? That's your last name?
And like what's crazy too is like because I didn't go back and watch the first one, I don't know if they ever actually like if it was in the first film about him like sticking up for him at the job or whatever, but when he was like, you were the only person that was nice to me and yada yada yada, and it's like, well, now he's just being like the world's biggest dick to him. Like, you can do a complete
well, and honestly,
180.
that's part of like what made it such a good scene. Is like it was a reversal from the first movie where Arthur said to Puddles, he was like, "You were always so nice to me." Kissed him on the forehead, and then he leaves. Like after he fucking stabbed that one dude to death or whatever in front of him, because he's all like terrified that he's gonna. And this motherfucker's just traumatized. He's shaking in his boots. And you're right. Like, Arthur's just being a fucking asshole in this moment. And, like, I don't know. It was just weird. Like, it's just weird because that's the only moment that he's like, yes, no, this is who I am. This is what this whole movie's been building up to. I am the Joker. Da 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 da.
To us seem like the same person that was, you know, that you knew or whatever. Like, they always kept building up to, like...
Yeah.
Him having the split personalities, and then just to be like, I'm not the Joker.
Yeah, he's like, no, I'm just a little sad sack named Arthur, and I'm not really the Joker. I killed a bunch of people because
plus my mom, which no one knew about except Harley Quinn.
Right. Yeah.
Because you told her.
If we can really even call her Harley Quinn.
I call her Lee because that's what she went by.
Yeah, I was gonna say a very half-ass Harley Quinn, and again, just like something that. It just felt like nothing went anywhere. But at that point in the movie, once that point happened, because it was just, all it took was that one guy getting killed back at Arkham who was like trying to like...
Yeah, because I felt like that was going to like go somewhere. Like when he went to the courthouse the next day, I thought he was going to try to expose...
The guards
and stuff.
There's 1,010,000 different ways this could have been a better movie, and they just didn't do
then, because like I told you, like, probably like one of the most like I could almost somewhat forgive like the whole him just like, oh no, I'm just Arthur. Maybe his other personality kind of just like came through in that moment. But even like when they like blew up the courthouse and he's going through and these fanatics get him into a car and they're helping him escape and they get into like a traffic, he just jumps out and starts running. I'm just like, the fuck, like I was like, so then what was the point of all of this then? Right. Like it literally just went nowhere.
Which leads to him meeting up with Lee, and then that is just the next part where I'm like, okay, well then what was the point of all of this? Like the baby and the Harley Quinn.
Well, because even thing like with the Lee situation, it was like they made it look like she was gonna kill herself. Mm-hmm. And then she was just waiting for him on this, or was just there.
Which, like again, would have been a better movie if she killed him. And like took over like the mantle of sorts of being like, no, I'm going to continue like what you've inspired and stuff. And like 1,010,000 different ways this could have been a better movie, or even like not a great movie, but like just little tiny things there at the end that could have. But no, it just shit on itself. The whole last 20 minutes of the movie, it just said, "Hey, fuck yourself." You know this movie, 2 movies. If you're stupid enough to sit down and watch both of them back to back, then you really would have been mad. At least there'd been some time since we watched that last one. But I was just like, fuck, dude, like, because it almost devalues the first movie too. It's just like, okay, so what is the point? What was the purpose of any of this? Especially, like, I could see myself rewatching the first one, but like that second one, like, what a waste of fucking time. Like, it goes literally nowhere. And it's just fucking infuriating. And
it just cuts off all fucking plot points and it just ends. Yeah.
It's just like, okay, well, here's all of our threads. Snip, 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 snip. Just cuts them all away. And it's just like...
And he's dead. Roll credits.
You get what you fucking deserve. And I literally said it before you said it. I knew what the fucking...
The punchline was.
Can I tell you a joke? I was like, well, I know where this is going. Fucking, I'm just like, okay. And I even... Because Belle wondered, she was like, I wonder if it was a setup. Because they were like, hey, you have a visitor. But my thing was, I didn't feel like that part was a setup. I feel like the dude just followed him. So I'm just like, who the fuck is there visiting him? Yeah. Am I just supposed to assume it's Lee? Like, because who else would it be? Like,
that was the only
is it person. Puddles? Like, was it, like...
Yeah.
And that alone was like, I'm just like, whatever. I was so checked out of the movie after he was like, I'm not the Joker. I'm like, okay.
Well, and I'm not a fan.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. And I'm disappointed. So... Yeah, unfortunately, that one definitely... people were right about that one. They were right on the money. Now, because, like I said beforehand, like before we watched it, I was like, hey, some people love it. And like now, because usually I'm like...
It's like, why?
Usually I'm like asking why of the people who don't like things, like to the point where they're bitching that extensively about it. Where I'm like, why? Like, why didn't you like it like so much? Like... But this time around, I really would... I know Belle has a friend who dies on this hill and really likes that movie. And I'm going to have to meet this guy and be like, hey, explain yourself. Tell me why you think this is a good movie, because no.
You don't see it.
I don't see it, bro. Good for you, I guess, if you liked it. But, like, it's just bad storytelling. It's just straight up bad storytelling. Yeah. It's insulting to the audience. It's a total waste of time. And like those are not phrases we use lightly. I feel like you said, we try to be very positive about movies. We'll always find something.
I always try to be as forgiving as I possibly can.
But
I try to suspend my belief and stuff like that on certain issues, and it's just like, unacceptable.
Let silly shit go. But when you just literally look us in the eyes and say none of this means anything at all. Oh, okay. Well, you could have done that in a text. You know what I mean? Like you didn't have to fucking make me sit here for 2.5 hours.
And apparently loved the Saints Go Marching In, because I don't understand why that was. Like,
I didn't
singing that.
Well, and we didn't even talk about like the fact that like I didn't mind the musical numbers.
I mean, that was fine, but I also knew about it. If I would have went into it, I guess. Not knowing, I probably would have been taken a little bit more aback about it.
And even like when we rewatched the first one a couple months ago, there's plenty of precedence for this being a musical. Like it definitely makes sense.
Wants to be an entertainer.
He wants to be an entertainer. He literally like dances all the time. He talks about how he loves music. And the thing is, all of the music in part 2 is just music from the first movie. And he's just like singing it, and it's like they're just using the same songs over and over and over again. And I felt like none of them actually did anything for the story. Yeah. Which is just silly.
So that's like, why even sing?
Yeah. Whatever. It was your money, Warner Brothers. You pissed it away. So
yeah, I watched it for free. So.
Right.
Well,
it's free as a Max subscription.
Well, I don't pay for mine, so it's
neither do we.
It was completely free.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then
it just cost me my time, which I can't get back.
No, which is probably more expensive. But I almost would have rather paid for it. Well, then I would have been out time and money, so I take that back. Take that.
I would have paid someone to tell me not to watch it.
Yeah. Give me a very solid reason. See, where I fucked up is I usually avoid like the spoiler. I'll listen to people's reviews, but then they'll do like separate spoiler talks like a few days after the movie drops. Right. And I just avoid those until I've seen the movie. Maybe this time I should have just watched the spoiler talk.
Of all the times you don't spoil something for yourself.
Well, I mean, I don't spoil things for myself often.
No, but sometimes there are like bigger movies that I feel like you do want to see, and then you're like, oh yeah, well, I know what's happening.
Well, very rarely is that of my own accord. Terrifier 3 is like one of the only times that I sought out, like, just tell me what happens in this movie. Because I was just excited. I was too excited. I got antsy.
Yeah.
Other times, people usually just fucking ruin it for me. And I'm like, you didn't need to do that. You didn't need to tell me these things. You didn't need to put that right in the thumbnail or the title of the video. You could have hit it. Could have had it 5 minutes in and been like, oh, by the way, spoilers. But no. Just put it right there on my homepage. Like, you son of a bitch. But hit you with another segue here. Another movie that people hated on, but I do feel like they were wrong about, was Red One.
Yeah, people were hating on it?
Well, my thing is, I don't know. I don't know if people genuinely were hating on it or if it was just the one fucking guy.
I was about to say, because I even talked to someone else earlier today, and he was like, did you watch Red One? I was like, I actually watched it last night. He was like, I enjoyed it. So like, yeah. I haven't really heard anything too negative about it, I guess, in that aspect.
Well, like, I don't know.
That was just one other person.
There's this one guy. But not that we have an extensive audience or anything, but for anybody who is listening, if you like movies, you're probably familiar with John Campia on YouTube. And he's one of those guys that, like, I still watch him because, like, he covers the movie news and stuff. But every time I click on his videos anymore, I'm like, why the fuck am I doing this? Like, why do I watch this grumpy fucker just, like, go off about things that, like, just... It's like, bro, chill out, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. And Red One was one of those things that, like, when the trailer dropped, he was like, this is just the biggest piece of shit trailer I've ever seen. Oh, it looks fucking awful. Just going in on it. And, like, a lot of people shared that sentiment. They just thought that the trailer looked ridiculous. Like, they thought it didn't look... I saw the trailer, and I thought it looked like a blasty blast. I thought it looked like a lot of fun. I wasn't like, ooh, most anticipated movie of the year. But, like, basically... I thought it'd be a fun Christmas action-adventure movie. And it was a fun action-adventure Christmas movie.
I feel like it hit the mark it was going for.
100%.
It wasn't trying to be like the blockbuster of the season, but it was just a fun Christmas movie, and that's exactly
right.
What
they were like, if you don't come see it in theaters, we'll literally be on Prime in like 2 weeks, so don't even sweat it, dog.
I did enjoy Nick Kroll's little story in there. I was like, interesting. But then, like, when the witch took him over and he was like doing the other voice, I'm like, I can understand why they probably wanted him to play that role.
I had the same thought. I was like, Nick Kroll. I was like, why is he doing this? And then that happened.
Yeah, that literally was like the exact same thought process that I had. I was like, interesting choice. And I was like, right choice.
Right choice. Correct choice. Great cast, I feel like.
Yeah.
Really enjoyed the cast. A hell of a lot better than Red Notice was with The Rock and Ryan Reynolds.
See, I didn't hate Red Notice.
I wouldn't say I hated it, but I just definitely didn't think it was all that great. But
I was fine with it.
I felt like this was a lot more fun. I feel like I really like Chris Evans. Chris Evans, man, he's either Captain America or he's playing some punk, you know? And,
it's either or.
And what's crazy to me is he's so good at both that it really is like such a dividing line. Like he really is just like, you know, the good old American boy or just this fucking punk ass, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd say except for the Gray Man, I did not care for his.
He was a little much in that one. Definitely.
It was like a little over the top douchebag. I felt like.
Although in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, he plays an over-the-top douchebag, but that's
on purpose.
In character, for sure. Yeah.
That was intentional. I felt like he was just trying too hard to establish himself as a douchebag and then just
took it too far.
Oversold it.
I know. It's crazy. It's almost like he tries to shed his Captain America persona when he does anything else. He's just like, no, I'm a bad boy. I'm like, nah, you can't wash it away.
Yeah, you did the role for too long for people to completely.
Right, you were too good, Chris. You're literally probably going to come back one of these days and play Captain America, if we're being honest. But
I don't know.
I mean, he's already been announced to come back for Doomsday, and I would assume he's probably going to be a Captain America of some sort. I'd be surprised if they bring him back as Human Torch again so soon.
I would be.
I wouldn't be upset. Don't get me wrong, but I'd be surprised. No, I like J.K. Simmons as Santa Claus. Bonnie Hunt as fucking Mrs. Claus. Like, where's she been? I haven't seen her in a movie in fucking forever, bro. Like, I feel like those early 2000s was like the last time I saw her in anything. Cheaper by the Dozen as the mom.
I can't tell you the last time I watched Cheaper by the Dozens when they came out. So
probably the
2000s.
same. Yeah. But The Rock was good in it. Very Christmassy. I liked it.
Yeah.
Like, it definitely felt like a movie that I could throw on every season. I feel like just to get in the holiday spirit. I liked the lore around it and stuff. There's a part of me that felt like, I don't know, I feel like The Rock has just kind of been floundering a little bit these last few years, trying to like make a franchise for himself. And it's just not happening. And this kind of felt like another attempt at starting a franchise, but I'm like, let's be honest here. This was far too expensive of a movie for as little money as it made back. It's not happening, dog.
Yeah, I wonder. I guess why that is. I mean, I can understand wanting to establish a franchise for yourself, but he's done so much stuff at this point. It's like, what do you really need a franchise for?
Yeah, well, in a way, I feel like his own greed has kind of been ruining him the last few years a little bit.
Yeah. He's still trying to get his Hobbs and Shaw.
No shit.
You know what I'm saying? It's like he really thought he was going to take over Fast and the Furious.
He thought he was going to take over fucking DC Studios too, and that didn't fucking pan out either. And now I feel like he's just starting to leave a bad taste in people's mouths because of stuff like that. But hey, he's getting ready to do an A24 wrestling movie. He's trying to reinvent himself.
He's going like, back to his roots.
Right. He's well, I mean, I just think he's doing like a more dramatic role. He's like, all right, I don't get a big blockbuster franchise, I'll go win a fucking Oscar. I feel like that's his mindset. He definitely seems like the type. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel you, but I don't know.
But if he doesn't get that Oscar, God help us all.
I mean, I just don't know if I've ever really felt like I've seen like an Oscar-worthy performance from The Rock.
And that's exactly what he's thinking. He's like, can you smell what The Rock is cooking?
I can't.
Well,
I literally cannot.
You're like, no, he just beats the shit out of you. I'm like, Rock, he can't smell.
He's like, I'll make him smell.
Makes you smell.
You know what? I'd be mad at him. I've went so long. It's like, don't do that to me. I didn't ask for this.
Smell the irony blood in my nostrils. Red One. Yeah, it was fun.
It was decent.
Fun little Christmas movie. Nice little action. I had some laughs along the way.
No cries?
No cries.
Okay.
No cries.
Neither did I.
Nothing really warranted that.
I don't know when the sun shook the snow globe, and then
went into the snow globe.
Yeah, went into it.
Oh, Chris Evans.
And they had the little heartwarming moment.
Yeah, I mean that was nice, but
that is literally the only only scene that could have
that's nice,
even produced a tier.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like I saw somebody say that the plot was too convoluted. I'm like, well, that's on you for trying to make it more complex.
I was like, you said that, and my brows furrowed. I was like, convoluted. It's pretty straight.
They still say they gotta save Christmas.
Yeah, what was too complex about it?
Let's go save Christmas.
They brought
Just say it.
in Krampus and stuff like that. I really enjoyed that.
I did enjoy Krampus. I enjoyed all those scenes when they played the slapping game.
What the hell is that? It's the Headless Horseman.
I honestly, it was funny because I found myself laughing at jokes that I laughed at when I saw the trailer. I'm like, I already knew the joke, but like the Wonder Woman bit. He's like, that's not how it works. Still made me laugh. I still thought that was fucking funny. And then the same thing with the Krampus schlop thing where he puts his hand on the side of his face. He's like, oh my God.
You just did it slow 3 times. He's like, woo.
Yeah, so then...
He was half a century old and he still wasn't ready for that slap.
Right. Fucking, well, from one Prime original to another, I guess. Old Challengers.
Or
the sexy tennis movie with Zendaya.
Yeah. That's one way to put it, I suppose.
I mean, I feel like that's what we were sold on.
That is definitely what I was sold on. That's why I thought I was going to get some more steamy action than I did.
I don't know. I mean, I hear what you're saying. I do, because I do feel like we both went into it expecting a far steamier movie than what it was. But definitely the way it was shot and like, I don't know, it was all very intimate. Like there was just a sexual undertone to the whole movie.
Yeah.
All the time, which I feel like when I saw the thing the second time where Zendaya is talking to the 2 dudes for the first time, and she's like, you don't know what tennis is. And she's being all pretentious about it. And she's like, tennis is a relationship and all that. I feel like that right there, that scene sets the stage for what this whole movie is.
Yeah. I mean, I can understand.
And so when you were like, it's not really about tennis, I'm like, to Zendaya it is.
I mean, yeah.
in her terms.
But everything was about tennis to her.
I thought it was interesting how they would jump back and forth in time.
Yeah. That threw me off a little bit.
So they like that one match is definitely like just spread out through the whole movie. But there were even times I'm like, I see what they're doing here. It's not subtle at this point of like when it goes to that match and the 2 dudes are playing, tennis, obviously,
right,
against each other. The noises they're making, I feel like, are so much more sexual than they. Like, I feel like it's done on purpose. Like they did the sound design to make it sound like they're fucking while they're playing tennis, rather than just the Serena Venus. It was definitely more of like every time they'd hit the ball, like they just kind of make these little sexual noises, and
as Zendaya is just going back and forth between the 2 of them, just
right. Unless she wasn't.
Yeah,
she just stares straight at.
I don't want either of you.
But yeah, she's. I will say it was one of those movies that, like, when it was over, I'm like, I liked this. I don't know if I got everything.
Yeah, that's one I feel like I want the second viewing.
Yeah,
that's one I'd want. At least now I have an idea, a little foundation to go off of, and now I can really sit down and focus more and actually pay attention. In the words of my cousin, it was deep. It was deep. Yeah, I can see that. So. I mean, I don't think anyone did a bad job. Like,
no, the acting was great.
Stuff like that. But I don't know. I guess, like I said earlier, it's like I wasn't fully anticipating it primarily just being about the love triangle. Like, I knew that obviously that was like some sort of like aspect to it, but I didn't realize like that was. The whole movie was just going back and forth.
Again, something that like I feel like I kind of picked up on that second time I was seeing some of that stuff was like when she goes to their room for that first time, and like definitely when her game starts playing is when she goes to their hotel room that night.
Well, we're out of beer.
Right. Come here. Which one of us fucking just scrambles? But, I mean, you just immediately see her start playing her games when she just like slowly backs away from the two of them and they're just making out and have no fucking idea that she's just kind of like faded away. And then she's like, all right, well, good night. And they're like, wait, what the fuck? What? Now wait just a minute. But yeah, and then like egging the one on while the other one, like, it's just like, oh man, I don't know. There was definitely a lot of deep manipulation but the words she says when she fucking leaves that room, because she's like telling the one dude, like, you can beat him and all this stuff. And
I hope you do.
And he's like, well, is that what you want? And she's like, what I want is to watch some good fucking tennis.
Right.
And I feel like that moment comes all the way back around at the very final moment of the movie where they finally realize the game she's been playing the whole time, and they play some good fucking tennis, and all three of them are just like there for it. It's almost like they all just fucking climax together. They're just like, come on!
That's what should have happened in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. But I don't know. I like that. I like to think that they will remain friends after that, because that bitch, she fucking comes through just, I'm no homewrecker, destroys them.
Yeah, for like an extended period of time. Like, it'd be one thing, like, if it just happened the first time, but the fact that she just kept going back and forth
for 13 years.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was an ongoing thing. It's like, you're just a liar. I know you're in college when she said that, but
and then
still.
Like, just all those moments. So yeah, she's not a good person.
Yeah, no. And even I did hear Zendaya talk like about that, like in an interview, where it's like she's not a hero necessarily. You know what I'm saying? Like, she's not like the best gal.
Right. For sure. Yeah. No, one could debatably say she's the villain of this movie if there is to be a villain.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because fuck, if anything, the two guys should have just got together. I feel like they had a good thing going. They could have.
She ruined a perfectly good friendship.
Oh, for sure. For sure, 100%. They had a great friendship. They were very close.
I felt like one scene that I was like, oof, was when they're in the sauna or whatever. And dude, I came in there, he was like, I just wanted to. I mean, he obviously was on some fuck shit, anyways. But like, he came in there, he's like, I just wanted to wish you like a good game. He's like, the fuck do I have to talk to you about? Like, I have nothing to say. It's like.
Put your dick away.
I was like, dude, this is your boy.
Right.
Fire and ice. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're gonna be ice cold. Like, come on.
He's ice.
Yeah, he was ice, but
yeah, I like that. Especially, like I said, I loved the moment near the end where he tells the other dude that he fucked her by doing the racket thing.
Yeah,
he did earlier in the movie.
Do my serve and I'll know you fucked her.
And that little smile he gave, like that actor, he kept doing that the whole movie, where he just had that little smirk he'd give. I was like, damn. Every time.
He's like, oh, you think it just stopped there?
And something I didn't pick up on the first time was like, so when he is, what's his name? Patrick. When Patrick was coming to like, he just slept in his car overnight and he comes in to like do the sign up. And the lady in there who shares her sandwich with him is like, oh, I was there at the junior qualifying. He's just like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
But when it goes back to that scene, I didn't realize that was her, and it was so impressed but even because I was too impressed. I was too impressed with this little move. I was just like, oh.
When he did like
when he ran up and they just went boop, like between the legs. I was like, oh damn, you sly dog. I was like, that was pretty good.
That was a sick move.
And she's over there, oh. I also like, as soon as the movie started, I guess they are called umpires, I suppose. The dude that's doing like the match that's like going the whole movie. As soon as it started, I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's Zendaya's like personal assistant, because like on red carpets and interviews and everything, like I've seen this guy with her. They're like best friends. And he's her personal assistant, and sure as shit, that's who it was. It's like, good for him. Good for him. Getting some roles. Hell yeah. Well, actually, now that I think about it, he was in Spider-Man.
Was he?
Yeah, he was, because there's that, either in Spider-Man 2 or Spider-Man 3, he's the guy who's like, I want to have your spider babies or whatever. And he like rips on it. And he's got like the little fan shirt under it.
That's funny.
But
it would be like a real fun fact if like he was in every single
Zendaya movie,
like, even as like an extra.
He might be.
You know,
Shit, he might be.
It's in her contract that he has to have a role.
And my boy gets a role.
I don't care if it's big or small, but you will put him in this fucking movie.
Homie went out and even like coached to be like an umpire. Like he learned how to do it for real before doing the movie and stuff. So good for him. Loved the score of the movie. Loved the music. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the score, and I've always loved their music ever since I don't know if The Social Network was the first one they ever did, but I mean Trent Reznor, he's the dude from 9 Inch Nails.
Gotcha.
And so he started doing, and I'm not as positive. I want to say Atticus Ross also might have been part of 9 Inch Nails, but I'm not sure about that.
Not 9 Inch Nails fan like that. So
me neither. But yeah, no, he started doing the film score stuff like back in like 2010. I don't know if it was any earlier than Social Network, but ever since then, like anytime those two have ever done a film score, I'm like, God, this is fucking baller. They really do. They got a certain vibe, that energy to it. And that definitely, I feel like, kept the movie going. They were bumming my son out though, because they would do that. They would do that thing where the music would get going and then it just like abruptly cut like 15 seconds in.
Right.
And I'm looking over and he's like, he's getting into it. He's dancing, and then it would just stop. And he's like, "Uh-oh." I'm like, "Yeah, but I don't know what's up with that."
Where'd my music go?
They're killing your vibe, and then they'd like pick it back up like 30 seconds to a minute later. Oh, okay, yeah, he'd get back into it, and then they just like cut it. And he's like, "Oh, come on."
Just starts crying.
Sorry, but I thought it might. I was like, "Damn,
I just want to jam."
You're challenging my son." That's.
Oh shit!
Nah, I dug it. I don't know. I could see any of the actors getting nominated. I did love the camera work as well. Like with a lot of the tennis scenes, even that like opening, not the initial opening shot, but there's that shot when they first reveal Zendaya, and it's like that wide shot, and they like come in like across the tennis court, like all the way.
Oh yeah, she's sitting there.
Yeah, and I was like, "Fuck!"
With her designer shades.
Yeah, I was like, "Damn, that was a good shot."
Looking like a boss bitch that she is.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
all the tennis shots where they were like either the thing like I was talking about near the end where the camera POV was like the tennis ball. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm about to go buy the Blu-ray just to find out how the fuck they did that. Be like, please tell me you got some behind the scenes because I need to know how the hell did you shoot that
Teach
scene?
Teach me,
please. But no, I dug it. And that's it. That's it.
Is that what we're ending on?
I think so. I didn't see anything else.
Well, I guess that's it.
Well, that's it then. And then
that was Phil and Chase.
episode 10, and then next week we got a little special surprise for you. Our first guest to bring some things full circle.
Yes.
We got 25 sleighs coming your way next week.
Oh yeah.
Might not be just one episode. It's either going to be one supersized episode, or we might break it into segments. Give you like a little mini advent calendar leading up to Christmas. Because we will be busy. Christmas.
We will be busy.
As most of you will be as well. But hey, it's there to listen to whenever you get around to it.
Right.
Or gather your family around and decide to start listening to us on Christmas Day. Whatever floats
that
your
would
boat.
be a great Christmas present, to be honest.
If I woke up on Christmas Day to see our numbers just skyrocketed for no fucking reason, I'd be like, it's a Christmas miracle. God bless us, everyone.
Oh, that's funny.
But, yeah, anyways. Till next week.
Till next time, you guys.
Peace.
Later.